see my screen. And we have team Mavericks in front of you. Thank you so much for the confirmation. So you can see the team Mavericks here. So whenever you need any assistance, any help, any support, you can ping any of them, and we are always there to help you. So today's session is on CSM. We already had the one CSM session earlier, that was Bootcamp 1, and this is Bootcamp 2. So just a small introduction about me. I have almost 15 years of experience in IT and 3+ experience in service now, currently working for IBM. And today's session is going to be taken care by Pranav. Right, so Pranav will introduce himself. Hi Pranav, now mic is all yours.
Hey guys, thank you very much. Let me share my screen, guys. Just let me know once you're able to see the screen. Okay. You guys able to see my screen?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay guys, so my name is Pranav. So I think most of you know me. I work at Nike as a service consultant, and currently like part of Mavericks group, and like I just try to be like I try to share my knowledge wherever I can. So that's about me. So guys, before starting today's session, I'll give you guys 2 minutes like to go through the previous article that I wrote, so that like you get an idea of what happened. This is for those who are new. This is their first session. I saw there are like a lot of people who are just attending for the first time, and some of you might have missed it, or it would be a good revision. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes. So I pasted the link of the article in the chat, so if you can just go through it, and so that we are on the same page. Okay, so I'll give you guys 2 minutes till the time. I can also open the article if you want, and that will also help. So this is the article, guys. Like, I'll just scroll down slowly till the time you guys can read it, and this will help us to be on the same page. Just let me know if you're able to see the screen.
Yeah, you can see your screen.
Perfect.
And second thing, I just pasted the recorded session link. Last session was recorded and it is on YouTube, so that link is also there in the chat.
Yes.
So in case you want to go back and revise stuff, you can always look at that recording as well.
Yes, thank you, Dhruv.
Same is shared on WhatsApp groups as well.
Thank you, Pankaj. So we'll wait till 7:05 so that everyone can go through it. Okay guys, so I hope everyone has gone through the article. So let me start with now the current topic. So last time we discuss about the basic terminology, like how the case flow works and what are the different types, like accounts, contact, consumers. We discuss about B2B, B2C, and all. So last time there was some kind of a question that came up. The question was like how the entitlement works. So I thought of like just covering this thing first. So basically, entitlement is something like it's a kind of a support that the customer receives. So whenever you go into the like ServiceNow's account form, where you have all the accounts that are taking services from you, you can define an entitlement. So entitlement can be on a product, it can be on an asset, or it can be on a contract. So generally, like I've seen like customer use product entitlements and asset entitlements, and like most of the time contract service now the like a lot of customers doesn't have a source of truth of contract into ServiceNow. So that's why, so in the demo I'm going to show you like how the product entitlement works, and we'll see like what are the different types of entitlement like there is for cases and hours and all. So let's go into the instance and see how it works. Okay, so I hope you're able to see my instance. Now first thing is like I'll go to the accounts. Okay, and I have this out of the box account that is there. So I can just go to the related list. We have the entitlements and we can click on the new button and we can just create any entitlement. So I'll just say E1, and I have to specify a product because I'm just creating a product entitlement. For you guys, you can just go ahead and create the entitlement for the asset as well as for the contracts. That will be your homework. And so I'm going to create it for Asus computers one. Okay, so once I created this one, now I can just specify how many units. So I can just say 10 units, and how many are remaining, 10. Now we get two unit types, cases and hours. So out of the box, ServiceNow, if you select cases, then ServiceNow will auto calculate if you check the per unit, right? And there's a business rule that is running on the case form. When the case gets closed, then it will be updated. And basically we have the hours, but as per the ServiceNow documentation, we have to create a custom BR if we want to work with the hours and all. And coming to per unit, it's like it's sometimes confusing, so you can treat it as like a activation. If you tick this one, then your units will be calculated when the case is closed. Okay, so now we have created this entitlement. This is on this particular product, and let's submit it, and it's for this account. So now what we're going to do is like we can just go to the create new, and let's select the account that we want and just give test whatsoever, and just see we have this entitlement field as empty. When I save the form, it will automatically get populated with this should get populated. Let me see, because we just created entitlement, and entitlement one is there, created for this. For case it's active. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. So let's go back to the case, and it's in new state. Now what I can do is like I can just simply close this case by filling the resolution code and like the resolution notes. Yeah, just say test whatever, and let me just close the case. So once the case is closed, and if I go to the accounts now the units should be 9. It didn't got attached for some reason. Let me just create another one. Oh, I'm sorry, because I didn't fill the product. That's the reason it didn't count it. So let me just create again. So I'll just go here and just select the account I want on this particular product because we have an entitlement here. And now let's save it. So now you can see that the entitlement is attached. Okay, and now let's just put the resolution like it's solved, and we just put the resolution notes like test or anything, and let's close the case. So now once you close the case and you go back to the account, you will and let's go to the related list of this. You can see that the remaining units are 9. I can open the record and show you. So that's how the entitlement is. Let me just see. Yeah. So that's how the entitlement is calculated. Right. So there's a business rule that's running out of the box which calculate this thing. You can have it on the contract, you can have it on the product, and you can have it on the asset. So these are the three things. Okay. So I think that's clear now. So now let's move into one of the topic, that's integrations in CSM. So customer service management application integrates with various other application. You can have with service management, field service management, PPM, financial management, ITOM, continual service improvement. So those of you who doesn't know about continual service improvement, we have like it's basically like for improvement opportunities and implement phase task and all these things. So that's why I wrote this small definition that I found on ServiceNow Docs. So you can go through it, and plus I'll add a link of all the integrations after the session. Okay, so in this class we'll just focus on integration with service management. So in service management, like if you want to integrate CSM with any of the service management like incident, problem, change, request, firstly you have to enable these two plugins. Once you enable it, then you will get the out of the box functionality. Basically what integration does is like you can create cases, you can create incidents from the case, you can create change, problem, request, all these things from the case. So that's the integration. And let's discuss about CSM integration with incident management, because if you get the flow of how the integration is happening, then you can just quickly go ahead and do it for change management and all. So in the demo I'll just show you about the incident management. So before we go into the integration, we have to understand one point that is called extension points. So extension point is nothing but it extends the functionality of a particular code or something. Like for example, we have script includes and all. So like you created a script include, now you don't want the users to go into the script include and modify the code. So what you do is like you create an extension point so that whatever the customization they want, they can create the customization in an extension point, and from there they can just add whatever the logic they want without modifying the base code. So this is that. And that's the reason like ServiceNow also have lot of scripts in IT in CSM that are protected. So sometimes you might have to go and check, okay, you like for example when I was doing this for a customer long back, so I saw a lot of the script includes were protected, and you can't just modify the like you can't modify the script includes and no, all these things. So ServiceNow has created extension points and all. I'll go into the technical side when I'm going into the demo. So they have created these points where you can write your own code whatever you want, and then it will be added into the script include without modifying the script include and all. Okay, so it will make more sense when I go into the demo. Okay, so now let's talk about like what are the field mapping. So out of the box, ServiceNow provides a field mapping from short description to description, all these fields that are there like configuration item to incident configuration item and all. Okay, and how the synchronization happens, like work notes are synchronized when the incident state changes, and if the state is on hold, then it's copied into the case work notes. Additional comments are copied into the incident and all these things. That's how it happens. So in the demo we can discuss about how the approach is, and when you are doing it, then you how what are the steps you have to take, right? Because it can be confusing. Most of us might think like, okay, it's just like might be a business rule or a U action that will be there which will be glide according to the incident table and creating the incident. Yes, that's happening, but how the we have to understand how service or process works, because it can be confusing when you are looking into the first time, and that's why I thought of discussing this. Okay, so let me just go into the case form, and we have all these favorites marked. Let me just quickly create a new case. I can create a case for this particular account and let me just submit it. Okay, So I'll just give some description also, and probably I can, yeah, let's keep it to description, and let me insert. So now when you click on this hamburger icon, you can see there is a UI action that is create incident. Okay, so when you click on this, an incident will be created. Now let's go into the backend code because we are interested in how it works. So let's go to the UI action and let's search with the incident. We go to the create incident one, and just look into this one. It is a separate application and it's a scoped application, so that's why it's a bit different. Maybe you might have seen different kind of integration in incident and all that might be in global scope, but when you're dealing with CSM integration, it has its own scope. Okay, so now you can see that we have something called as service management incident utilities, which is calling a function create incident from case. Now let me just open the definition, and now you can see that it's just protected. You can't just, if you want, like suppose you have a custom field on a case form, and I showed you in the deck that we can, out of the box, these fields are getting copied, but suppose you have a custom field and you want to copy that, like how you gonna do it? So that will be an issue, so you have to like use the extension point that I'm coming in a minute. So now we want to look into the create incident one. Okay, so I created this create incident one. You can see that this is there. Now you see this code, glide scripted extension point get extension, and we are getting the extension of like from this another script include. So I won't go into like what exactly in this, but it's basically the name of the extension point we are getting from the constants that are there. Okay, and then we are looping through the all the points, and we'll just use the copy fields from case to incident script extension point. Okay, so that's the logic that's written, and then we have the simple code like insert and all these things that are there. Okay, so now we are interested in how this thing works. Suppose you are doing an integration from CSM to incident. Now you want to add some additional field. That's a very common requirement. So how you gonna do it? So firstly, we'll go into the extension point. If you go into the extension, you will find scripted extension points. Okay, that's there. And let me just side by side open this, and in this constant, let me just open this constant also so that it's more clear for everyone. So we want this particular constant value, so let me just quickly search this point. So you can see that it's just a constant that's defined in this script include, and I want this particular extension script. Okay, now if I go here and I search with here API name, I just search, it's a constant name, because it might have, let me just do CS, oh sorry, I have to star CSM. Okay, so it's there, and you can see that CSM integration, it just attaches the scope name in the start, that's why it was not coming up. So you see we have the CSM incident integration. Similarly, we have a change, problem, and all. So this will be your homework to go through the others also, like change and problem. I'll just show you for incident in this session. Okay, now when you look into this, you see some kind of an example that ServiceNow shows how it looks like, and basically we have an implementation. Implementation is nothing but like it's another script include, right? That's also protected, right? That we just saw, which have this copy fields and everything. Okay, now for example, you have to like add some your own custom logic. So how you can do it, right? So I just simply copied this whole script include, and I can just go ahead and create a new implementation. When I click on this create new implementation, i'm I'm redirected to this particular script include, which gives me all these how it needs to work. And for example, I can just add like whatever the logic that I have. So I just will paste the logic here, and I'll just copy this particular part because we are only interested in this, and I'll just remove it. Now if I go here and I paste it, right, and we can just remove this part also, because this is just an example, because if you look into this dot, it will try to find that function like derive incident from impact and all, and it won't be able to find because we didn't copy that thing. So that's why I'm removing it. Okay, so let me just quickly remove it again. Now for example, you want to add a new field. Right now for demo purpose, what I'm gonna do is like I'll just add some text like test. That's it. I'm just changing the description, just concatenating it with the keyword test and all, just to show you how the extension point works and all. And let me just quickly update it. Okay, now we have created an extension point, and basically if I go here, you can see there are 2 points, and basically the higher order one will be picked up. So we have to just add the order also. You can see the order that's there, so I think both are names same, so I just have to find the correct name. Let me just go back here. I'll just go here and I'll just add a field updated. Okay, so you can see this is the one we just created. I'll just put it higher order and put it 200. Okay, so now the 201 will be picked up, because that's how the logic is written here. Like it will just take the latest one and all, and maybe like for example, if you create your own application, you can change the logic a bit. Like for example, when I was creating a custom app, so I didn't use all these things. I just provided it with the latest, like whatever the number I want means, so that it will be easier. But let's just understand the out of the box. So now we are set, and let's create a case. Like we already have the case, let's create an incident from it and see what happens. So basically now when it gets caught, when we create an incident, basically a test should be assigned before it, if we have written the code correctly. Okay, let's click on create new incident. Setting time, and should create an incident. Cool. So our incident got created with the test concatenated with it. Okay. So that's how this thing works. And now just see, we haven't modified anything in the out of the box code, and we just did it, and it won't impact the upgrades or anything at all. Okay. So if I want to just, if I don't want this thing, I can simply go ahead, and this is the one, and I can make it active equal to false. Okay, and update it. So now let's go into the cases again. Probably let's take some out of the box case. I think here let's remove the incident if there is any. Oh, so don't worry if you are getting confused. I'll repeat it again so that you guys are able to understand it. And I just removed the incident because it was attached before. And let me just click on save, and now we'll get an option to create an incident. We just created the incident, and now you can see that it's working like how out of the box should work. Okay, so this is the basic thing. We have lot of functions and all, and you can just play around with it. And I would recommend, like after the class, you just go ahead and at least do what I did, so that the concept is crystal clear in your mind. Okay, so now let me just revise it a bit in 5 minutes. So basically, like we have something like create incident. Okay, so I'll just go back to the case. and we have configure UI actions. Let's go into the incident one. We have the create incident, and here we have this scripting include. Okay, so I think I have already opened it. Service management utilities. So I'm just concentrated on this function, but for you guys, you can just play around with any of the existing function that are there. So you can see that we have create incident from case, and here it's just calling a script extension. Okay, so this is another script include. I wouldn't recommend you go into like look into what's happening here, because certain things are like it's like we should leave it as it is. So that's my thought process. So let's, if you are like, yeah, if you have extra time, you can just play around what's happening inside of this, how it is doing. But if you think about a normal scenario, it will be just glide recording into that and getting the extensions and all. So that's there. So now you have the constants. From the constants, basically you're getting the particular script include name that is used in the extension point, and you are just looping around getting the highest order one and getting the copy fields one. This is the extension point that is there. Okay, now second thing is like you are going into the extension points. I've already marked it as favorite, and you can just create your new one. Now you might be wondering, where is the one that we created? We made it active equal to false, so that's whenever it's active false, it won't show up here. So you have to just go into the extension points. From here, go into the active false, that is the one that is there, make it active equal to true, and just remove it and just reload the form, and you will see this thing. Now whatever the, this is the class name, I would recommend like keep the class name as same. If you want to play around, you can play around, but keep it same. That's my recommendation. Sorry. So now I'll just show you one more thing. You can have your own function that are created here, like own extension point that are there, which you can utilize into your scripts and all. For example, you can have abc function, and it will be like kind of a similar syntax where you can utilize it. Okay, so that's pretty much it about the extension point and all, and how it works. And similarly for you guys can go around and play with the incident one first, then you can go into the change one and problem, who all are similar. The backend functionality, the main thing is the extension point. And I'll also add some articles. I have already noted down the articles that are great on community. I'll just share the articles after the session, or whenever we will publish the video, we're gonna add the links in the comment in the article itself or in the YouTube description. Okay, so that's particularly it for today, and now I'll just go and check if we have any questions for us. And okay guys, so let's jump into the questions now. So guys, any questions you have regarding these two things? I think it was clear, but once you practice, you'll be able to have you'll be able to look into it. Dhruv, I think people doesn't have access to chat.
Good.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people are trying to comment. Guys, you can unmute yourself also, and I would be happy.
I think they have.
Because I'm seeing for a lot of people, it's no longer have access to the chat. Oh, that's strange.
You can unmute yourself, otherwise, the session was pretty good and it's all clear for me at least. But if you have any doubts, just shoot it to Pranav. Or should we go with the quiz and till the time Pankaj will create results, then we can utilize that time for quiz?
Yes, that would be a great idea. So Pankaj, like, hand it over to you, back to you. Just go with the
Great.
quiz, and let's then have the question after.
Great session, Pranav. Thank you so much. I think people are having more questions when they'll go to with your post or a blog. So you might have more questions. So let's have a quiz, guys. There is a quiz for everyone. Not everyone, but top three. So I'm just opening this quiz for next 10 minutes, or yes, next 10 minutes. So we are at 7:30. So I'll stop that quiz by 7:40. So I'll ask that you can go and just submit their answers in that link. Great, Pranabhai. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, guys, okay. I think we don't have much questions, so I think we can end the session early today. Start.
Ankit has one more request that it will be great to publish the use cases in centralized location, just to suggestion as we keep doing more bootcamps. So I think he's talking about some repository where we can put all the use cases.
So, Ankit, like we have everything on YouTube. If you go to our ServiceNow Mavericks channel, we upload there. Plus, after every bootcamp, I'll be adding everything in an article on ServiceNow community. So I'll share in the group, so you can just go through the article. You will find all the links, everything in there. And if there is any kind of other thing, we'll definitely share in the groups itself. But I think that would be helpful for everyone.
Great. So all questions has been answered now.
Mhm. Okay, guys, thank you very much. So, Pankaj, you can just end the session.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Pranav. Thanks, Dhruv. Thanks, Team Maverick, and thanks all for joining. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.